Hello. Hello, hello. Okay, we're going to do a quick 2 minute or less smoky eye because we got to have fast. Plus, it's going to be more of a daytime smoky eye. So I've done one side so far, just so you can get a simple look at what the end result is. But I also am going to show you how to layer our loose mineral pigments over our cream shadows. So if you ever feel like you put on a eyeshadow and it's not popping, or it's not, it looks kind of sheer or translucent, and you want it to be a little bit more opaque because you want that tonality to kind of show through. So I'm going to teach you guys today how to create a pop from an individual pigment, or it could even be from a palette, right? But I'm going to use our loose mineral pigments. These babies are going to be gone at the end of this month, which I'm so sad about because they are nice. Easy to travel with, but you also get, it's kind of like having your favorite portion of the Napoleon, right? The strawberry, the chocolate, and the vanilla. Instead of having them all together like in a palette, right? You can get that individual flavor or color that you want, that's your favorite. So that's what I love about our individual pigments. They will be gone. So make sure you grab these. We actually have a fun little promotion this month. When you purchase 6 individuals, all of your choice, you actually get our free liner shader brush. So that's an amazing deal this month. So Samantha says, when I do a smoky eye, she says that when I do a smoky eye, I end up look like I have a black eye. So Samantha, that's all going to be about controlling the color as well as using something that's going to give you the true tonality. So today I'm going to use the color Tenacious, which is what I have on the base of this. So I'm going to open this baby up. It's one of my favorite cream shadows that has a little bit more depth, but you can wear it by itself. Now, normally you're going to see me teach cream shadows with the cream shadow brush, and that's always my recommendation, but I want to show you how you can achieve a base for a smoky eye or a base for any of the loose mineral pigments with a cream shadow. So I am simply going to use my ring finger, and I'm going to get a little bit of the Tenacious on. Now this is a cream shadow, so again, you're going to get a little bit of that priming aspect. I'm going to get my ring finger. So see, it's kind of this bronze metallic type of color. I'm going to start just on my lower lid, and I'm going to get the bulk of my color on that lower lid, okay? So then I'm going to take it kind of up towards the crease, grab a little bit more color. Hi, Lois. Thank you guys for hopping on. Share it if you learned something. Sharing is caring. Okay, so I'm taking this Tenacious color, which is a beautiful color all by itself, right? But the layering is going to not only increase your staying power, it's going to intensify some of the tones that you use. So Samantha, again, it's all about positioning and placement of the colors. If you're taking a smoky eye all the way up to your brow bone, yes, it's going to look like you've been in a bar fight, right? You want to control that darkness, plus depending on your eye shape. You want to control that darkness, okay? So I'm keeping this just under my brow, my bone right there, which is my crease, okay? So that's all with just finger placement. Now you can also use the cream shadow brush. I actually have a little bit of Victorious on this brush to help me kind of clean up any out of control that my finger may cause. Just going to take our crease brush, and I'm going to kind of blend a little bit of that Tenacious around my crease, okay? Because again, we don't want to look like we've been in a bar fight. So see how pretty Tenacious is just by itself? A beautiful color, great to mix back with any of our other cream shadows, but today we're going to use the color Daring. Hey, Peg. We're going to use the color Daring, which is, I just spilt it everywhere. So it's a beautiful bronzy tone in and of itself, so very complementary. So let me just show you Tenacious on my hand. Okay, beautiful bronze. You've got the shimmer. Now these are shimmers, so just be aware of that. If you want something matte, you can always go the matte route. Daring, let me grab some off my counter that I just put everywhere. Okay, has a little bit more darkness to it, but still has a little bit of that brown deep gray family. Okay, so that's what I'm layering. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my Daring, which is this loose mineral pigment, expiring July 31st. Expiring, just no longer going to be available. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab what's in the lid. I'm going to grab with my liner shader brush, which you get free with the promotion this month. Okay, I'm going to grab a little bit of that out of the lid. So now it's on the liner shader brush, and that's where we're building some of that depth in this look, okay? I'm not wetting the brush, I'm just using it dry. And I'm just going to pad that coloration on the lower portion and then just pat it, kind of working up. Because again, I don't want to pull all that depth up to my brow bone because it is going to look like I've been punched in the eye. Okay, but I'm not taking this too dramatic with a lot of blacks because the black is what's going to make it a little bit more bold, right? So we're going to keep this a little bit more soft for the daytime look. Okay, so that's simple. Tenacious all over with your finger kind of up to the brow bone. Then you layer your loose mineral pigment on top of that. So see how simple? Now when I open my eyes, you don't see a ton of depth, but when I close or look down, that's where you're really seeing the effect of the smoky eye. Okay, what do you guys think so far? And that's the color Daring that I'm using from our loose mineral pigments. There's so many shades to choose from. So you can we have mattes and shimmers in the pigments, but they'll be gone on the 31st if they don't sell out sooner. So, and then I layered Tenacious on my lower lid up to my brow bone. That's kind of the base. So if you want your pigments really to pop, and that also goes for palettes, you want to make sure that you have a really solid base for them to go under. Priming, using our cream shadows, things like that. So if you feel like your shadows are too translucent, it's because they don't have a really great foundation that you're putting them on. So with any eye look, you know that I love a inner corner highlight. A couple of different options for this. You can use one of my favorites. I actually ordered a set of 6 of these because they're that much of my favorite. Got the free liner shader brush. It's the color Sexy. So it is, Sarah, so the kudos for July is you get to choose you could get all 6 of the same color, but you get 6 mineral pigments, and then you get the free liner shader brush with your 6 pigments. So one of my sets was nothing but Sexy, and then I ordered a couple of my darker shades that I like to have for these fun little smoky eye pops, right? So Sexy is a beautiful shade for an inner corner highlight, but today I'm actually going to use a color called Angelic. Now Angelic is more of, let me put some on my hand so you can see it. It's more of it's got more of a yellow tone to it, but it has a true kind of iridescence to it. So you see that when I do that, you see so much reflection. So that's what I'm going to use today on my inner corner highlight. And how I'm going to do that, I'm going to grab my rose water, because wetting these pigments is like a dream. It's so easy to put on. I'm just going to mist my brush. This is just like a little skinny brush. I don't know. This is just like a random beauty source brand or something. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm going to grab some of this, and this is the shade Angelic that I'm using. I'm going to grab a little bit of that out of the lid with the wet tip of this brush. And then what I'm going to use with what I'm going to do with the Angelic is come right to the center corner right here. Look at that. Even just one tap, it could be all you need, okay? So I'm going to then come and just drag right on the inner corner of that water line, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a little bit more off of my brush, and I'm going to kind of just blend into that smoky eye and up a little bit. So now you see the inner corner reflection, right? So that is Angelic. You can also do this with the pigment Curious, which is another great highlighting pigment, and another pigment called Sexy, which is the first one that I showed you. So amazing way to create a simple everyday smoky eye that literally takes under 2 minutes, because you're layering your cream shadow with your loose pigment. So if you want any of your pigments to pop, you could also do that by having Victorious underneath and then layering those pigments on top so that you really see some bold tonality. All right, so Tenacious, I just used my finger all over up to the brow bone, came back with the pigment Daring, which you can see them on my hand. Tenacious and Daring. So I layered Daring on top of it, and then I came in with Angelic right in the corners. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I'm just going to line one side. You do not have to line this look, but I'm going to show you one side. We're going to polish it off maybe more for a nighttime. I'm going to show you how we could polish it off with one of our cream shadows in a matte black, especially since this is more of a smoky eye. For daytime, I would maybe avoid the liner because that will make it a little bit more bold, but we're gonna go ahead and just use this magnificent matte black cream shadow as the liner. And then we'll give a little bit of a flick on the outside. One thing I did not mention, you can easily take, when I finished this off, to kind of clean up and just make sure everything's cohesive, I'm actually taking leftover concealer that I used under my eyes. There's not a ton on this brush, but I just take that over my brow bone, okay? So that's just gonna kind of give a little bit of cleanup, make it look polished, okay? You could also come back with Victorious and do the same thing. And the trick I love with Victorious is taking the cream shadow brush, grabbing a little bit of the matte nude shade, and coming and just kind of polishing off that corner. It's a very similar shade to my concealer, so I love just kind of polishing it off and making it look finished. You can skip that step if you want. Hey, Allison. How are you? Welcome to Lunch and Learn. All right, so I'm grabbing a little bit of the matte black cream shadow in the color Magnificent with my Brow Artistry brush. I'm going to quickly line this side just to show you how we can thicken the lash line really quickly. These almost, to me, feel like you're just putting on a really quick gel liner. If you know the consistency of like a gel liner, this feels very similar. Glides on really smooth. And I'm going to switch midway and come back over to the corner and get real close to that inner portion of my eye. So I also love these cream shadows as a liner for this particular look because if you've ever put liner, whether it's a pencil or a liquid liner over shimmery shadows, a lot of times you might have a hard time or a more difficult time getting a really true matte liner close to your lash line because your liner is going to it's going to be picking up some of that shimmer, and sometimes it's tough to go over with a liner, but I love these matte cream shadows as a liner for that particular reason too, especially when I'm using shimmers on the lower portion. All right, so now what I'm going to do is with the angled side of the Brow Artistry brush, I'm going to come back over here to the corner, and from the edge of my liner, I am literally just going to kind of give a quick flick, okay? So see, when I open, it's going to appear like my lash line goes a little further out, and I'm just giving it a quick flick. Okay, so super simple with that angled side. And so I just wanted to show you the difference, how you can take this daytime smoky eye and then pop it a little bit more nighttime by giving a more dramatic matte black eyeliner and a little flick. So super simple. I hope that's been helpful to kind of talk to you about building more opaqueness, if that's a word, into your eyeshadow and getting true tonalities. So I've used the Tenacious, layered the pigment Daring over the top, which is kind of a bronzy color, and that way you have just a really simple, fun daytime smoky eye, and I took it nighttime by adding the matte cream shadow in the color Magnificent as my gel liner. Super